Now, what I did, and this trip here was a very quick trip. We decided to come to Guyana within 2-3 days, actually compliments of EasyJet air services, so we have to thank Sunny Ramdale for that. But what I did was I put on my website that Let's Talk With Lakshmee will be visiting the president of Guyana, and some people wrote back in and they had their questions. So I have a list here of a few questions that came from our viewers, and I'm going to go through them. And guys, if you wrote in, the president is here now to answer your questions. So our first viewer asked, does the government have a plan to attract the diaspora back to Guyana? What is the biggest disincentive for remigration, and how will you fix it?
Well, we have done a kind of an experiment.
Okay.
And we put 1,000 house lots that we have put dedicated for Guyanese living abroad, for them to buy into.
Is it in a specific area?
Yeah, yes, in a specific area so that they can have, put in their own security and whatever they want. And my latest information that it has been oversubscribed. There are more than 4,000 people applying for these lots from overseas, from the diaspora.
Okay.
That is a very good sign, because I think many of them want to have the security of having their own homes here. So that's one aspect. Two, as I said, I expect that that with many of the plans, the developmental plans that we have, that many will want to come home, because we're going to create not only jobs but high-paying jobs. And I know that many Guyanese who went abroad, they have done well. Some of them they have done well in business, so this will be a good opportunity for them to come and invest. Some of them have done well in the various professions.
Yes.
So I think that if they feel that they can earn a good salary here, that they very well might want to come back to their homelands, or at least they will probably straddle between Guyana and wherever they're living abroad. So yes, to put it bluntly, yes, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs too, we have started a little section dealing with diaspora issues. And as I get more time, more time in the job, and within the Ministry of Agriculture, within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that's one area I think that we can focus on, to see how we can not only necessarily to attract the diaspora home, but how we can work with the diaspora, how we can keep them involved with what is going on in Guyana, and how we can keep our relationship going with the diaspora abroad.
What do you think is one reason why someone may not want to come back to Guyana?
Some of the things that I think it has to do with the different sections of the people. People who are retiring or wanting to retire, a lot of them point to the medical services.
Oh, yes.
We're fixing that, because we are going to build a new modern hospital here in Guyana that will be able to do any type. We're working with the Indian government on that.
Yes.
And it's going to be able to do any kind of operation that you can do abroad, that we will be able to do it here. And it will be at a fraction of the cost that they will have to do it when they're abroad. So I also envisage that that's another area where the diaspora can come home for what I would call health tourism, and another area for our country that can develop, and not only for Guyana, but the Caribbean can become some part of our market, and the large diaspora that we have in North America can also be a market for us in that regard. So we're correcting those things as we go along, and we hope to get them fixed. A lot of people in the diaspora, because of the negative media that we have here, and we have strong opposition media that tend to paint our country in a very negative light abroad, tend to express a lot of fears about coming home. But when they do come, I think they have another kind of experience. And the old saying is, it's better you see one time than hear 100 times. So I will encourage them to come home and see for themselves what is taking place here.
I have to totally agree with you, Mr. President. Everything you just said. My parents are actually recent remigrants to Guyana, currently living in Garden of Eden, and they love it. They've built a beautiful home. They have such a peaceful life. Very envious of their life. But one thing is, my mom has a tendency to get sick, and she comes back to the States once a year just to look after her health.
Well, very soon she will not have to do that. She can stay right here.
And the other thing you touched upon is, coming here one time, it will change your mind. I personally left Guyana when I was a baby, and I came back.
That's not so long ago.
I came back about over 20 years later, and the first time coming here, everyone in New York they were like, oh my God, don't wear jewelry, don't this, don't that, don't leave your bags anywhere. People are going to try to rob you, they're going to run you with a cut, like all of the stories that I heard. And that one trip that I made a few years ago, since then, I come back to Guyana once, twice a year, and I love it. I couldn't imagine not visiting Guyana at least once a year.
Not that we don't have crimes, we have crime. But it's not the worst in the region. Trinidad has worse crime than we have. Jamaica, I think Jamaica spent a lot of money to work on their image. Maybe we can take a leaf out of their book. But we have a light pension, so we have a very strong opposition press that highlights and sensationalizes many of these things in our society.
Speaking of crime, how do you feel about the police department in Guyana?
A lot of work has to be done, but I don't think you can pin it down only to the police. The police, of course, you need a lot of work, a lot of training, and that type of thing. But I think we have to look at it in its totality. We have to fix not only the police, but we have to fix the judiciary so that we ensure that justice is done and done swiftly. And we have to fix our prison system so that it can become with a stronger focus on reforming people. Not that when a person goes into the jail, they come out as a bigger criminal, but that they can come out with some things, teach them some other values in life and education and reform, issues of reform. I mean, that's a special area by itself. But that the focus should be on reform so that they can be good citizens within the society. So I think it's not only focusing on the police, but focusing on the whole law enforcement system itself. And it's the complete package that we have to focus and work on until we get it in a much better position.
Now, if there was an emergency, like in New York, we have emergency 911. Is there something like that implemented in Guyana?
They have that. I mean, I've read a lot of criticism of them sometimes. Okay. It's probably some of them are true. But we have that system in place. We have, I would say, if you compare us with the rest of the region and further afield, third world countries, we have fairly good services, health services. We have a lot of people will tell me that some of the waiting time at the hospital is probably similar to a lot of the developed countries. But from time to time you get some incidents where you have some negative reporting on some of these issues. But in a general way, I think that I have read some very encouraging news where the police captured criminals because of swift responses. So I think that they are becoming more and more responsive to some of these things, and we have to work at it all the time to ensure that they become better and better as time goes by.
Planning a trip from Guyana to the U.S. for business or pleasure? Fly with EasyJet. Our 767 wide-body aircraft accommodates 220 passengers in style and comfort with 2 suitcases at 60 pounds each and a carry-on at 22 pounds. Shop more with an option of a 3rd suitcase for as low as $50 US. Senior citizen discount from age 55. Introducing soon service to Trinidad and Toronto. For more info, contact your local travel agent or Monishwars Travel. Call us on 227-6992. Website ezjetgt.com. EasyJet, we've made it even better for you.
Dr. Mukund Thakur cared for the elderly in rural villages of India. His lifelong work caring for the elderly continues. The doctor realized that our Indian elders needed a place they can call home. A nursing home for our elders. Born out of this vision is an Indian nursing home in New York. In an Indian surrounding, our Indian elderly is among their own. They wake up to prayers in the temple. Indian food is served. Festivals are celebrated. Our elders are cared for by Indian nurses, serving our Indian community from Guyana, Trinidad, India, and more.
I'm not inviting you as a you can admit your loved one in my nursing home, but whenever really you need me, please call me, and I promise you, I take care of like my own parents.
Elegant floral design. We can help you beautify your event. No occasion is too big or too small. We specialize in floral decor and party planning for every event. Please call 718-322-9786. Please use promo code Lakshmee for a discount.
Bring the dancers.